Good evening from the Channel's newsroom in London. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has postponed the next stage of easing lockdown restrictions planned for this weekend in England. The new measures would have seen the return of casinos, bowling alleys, skating rinks, indoor performances and wedding receptions for up to 30 people. It comes after new data from the Office for National Statistics suggested the number of coronavirus infections in the community has seen a slight increase over recent weeks. Ministers have been accused of spreading confusion and anxiety over the new lockdown guidance for Northern England after it was revealed in a deeply chaotic late-night announcement by Health Secretary Matt Hancock just hours before the rules came into effect.
Our assessment is that we should now squeeze that brake pedal in order to keep the virus under control. On Saturday, the 1st of August, you'll remember we had hoped to reopen in England a number of the higher risk settings that had remained closed. And today, I'm afraid we're postponing those changes for at least a fortnight. That means until the 15th of August at the earliest, casinos, bowling alleys, skating rinks and the remaining close contact services must remain closed. Indoor performances will not resume. Pilots of larger crowds in sports venues and conference centres will not take place, and wedding receptions of up to 30 people will not be permitted. But ceremonies, of course, can continue to take place in line with COVID-secure guidelines.
Muslims have been celebrating Eid al-Adha today. Though the coronavirus remains present around much of the world, communities have still gathered to mark the occasion in style. In Mecca, just a fortunate few were able to participate in the symbolic rituals. For the first time in a generation, amidst efforts to curb COVID-19, Muslims from abroad were unable to attend the pilgrimage. In other parts of the Middle East, mosques were closed and the streets were empty of the usual Eid crowds. In nearby Russia, socially distanced clergymen pray at a distance from one another, some of them wearing facial masks. And similar scenes were visible in the world's most populous Muslim country. Indonesian worshippers streamed into a mosque in the capital, Jakarta, with face masks on and body temperatures checked. Vietnam is in high alert after recording its first death from COVID-19, a major blow for a country applauded for one of the most successful pandemic responses to containing the novel coronavirus outbreak. Patient 428, a 70-year-old man from Hoi An City who appears to have contracted the disease in Da Nang, died on Friday, according to state media VTV. There are heightened tensions in the capital city of Zimbabwe following the arrest of the award-winning author Tsitsi Dangarembga. The novelist was reportedly bundled into a police truck on Friday while protesting on a road. Earlier in the day, police had outlawed the demonstrations, warning that anyone attending will only have themselves to blame. Security forces have increased patrols to stop anti-government protests called by activists over corruption and economic hardship. 3 policemen have been arrested following the deaths of 2 protesters killed last weekend in the Iraqi capital, Baghdad. The deadly incident occurred following an increase in anti-government demonstrations. Hundreds of thousands of citizens are demanding jobs, services and the removal of the ruling elite. Over 500 people have been killed. Several staff will be replaced on Ellen DeGeneres' daytime chat show after an investigation uncovered deficiencies in the show's day-to-day management. Viewers should be advised that there is flash photography in the upcoming footage. The inquiry was prompted by a widely circulated story on BuzzFeed News in which employees made allegations of racism and intimidation on the show. The accusers claimed the workplace was toxic and dominated by fear. In an email to staff, Ellen apologised and said she was committed to ensuring this does not happen again. And finally, following a 2019 report from the US government which described Ukraine's prison and detention conditions as poor, Ukrainians in pre-trial detention can now upgrade to bigger cells with modern conveniences like air conditioning and a microwave if they buy vouchers that cost £55 a day. The vouchers are an extension of a scheme introduced in May that allows detainees to pay for better cells. They make it easier to apply and move to a new accommodation. The head of Amnesty International Ukraine, Oksana Polachuk, has criticised the new move and said justice should not be commercialised. And that's your international news around the world in 5.